Cheers to everyone for watching. My name is Mitchell. You're watching the Stereo Picture Society. This is the channel where I review Canadian albums, and today I'm going to be reviewing Ralph's new album, A Good Girl. Ralph? That's a guy's name. She's a total chick. Mate, I'm pretty sure her birth name's Rafaela. What, is she a transgender or something, bud? No, Hoser Mitch, I think she's just a girl from Toronto. Oh, big city girl. Fucking take a hike, eh? Hoser Mitch, everybody. Shit. This is the debut full-length album from singer-songwriter and pop artist Ralph. Over the last 3 or 4 years, she's been releasing singles and EPs leading up to this full-length. Ralph is also signed to Vancouver label 604 Records, which was founded in part by Nickelback frontman Chad Kroeger. Now, from listening to Ralph's singles and EP that she released last year, this album, sonically, is nothing new. On this, we hear Ralph's sweet and mellow mid-range singing. We pretty much hear the production elements of any pop artist today. A lot of influence from the 80s, a lot of synths and keyboards over some really muted guitars, and that trap percussion. So going into this album, I was pretty much expecting to have a good time, and I did. There were a lot of songs on here that I really liked, especially from the first half of the record. I think the tone of the album is set really well with the song Long Distance Lover, which is a pretty good indicator of how the rest of the album sounds. We get a lot of synth pop vibes, and Ralph's mid-range vocals really sound inspired from the late 80s to early 90s R&B, kind of sounding to me like Sade and TLC. And production-wise, there is a ton of reverb on this track, but it's also pretty tasteful. I found it blended well with any pop single that came out from the last 3 years. The opening track, Living For Yourself, started off the album really well. I really like all the positive messages on here, pretty much exuding and trying to entertain self-confidence. I also noted the RuPaul quote on the bridge, and I also really liked the chords on here. I thought they were pretty fun piano chords that really set the vibe of the song quite well. The song Gimme is a fun little party track with Ralph spelling out words like gimme and patient in the chorus with this fun little childish melody. I like the different percussion on the verses on this track, such as the shakers and congos and little cowbells. I thought there was some clever wordplay on the tracks Weather and September Fades. On both of these tracks, especially for Weather, there's some pretty smart and relatable lyrics themed around the weather, particularly the summertime up to October. The song September Fades is pretty much a follow-up track to what sounds like the same relationship. Ralph is kind of noting the complexity that she has as she's being very passive in the relationship, but this person that she's seen thinks that she's just all that and putting in a lot of effort, and Ralph just is reflecting on that. Now, as I listened to this album more and more, I picked up a few things that I thought were a little underdone, a little bit confusing. For starters, I read that September Fades was originally called Evergreen, and if no one knew the title of this song, I think they would pick up on that, seen as the hook and refrain after the chorus is evergreen. And the same thing with the next track, Dark Clouds. The hook word is the word antidote. But Ralph decided to name this track after the first image that we see in the first line of the song. I just thought that was a bit confusing and didn't really see as to why. The rest of the tracks on this album, such as Bedroom Eyes and Tables Have Turned, obviously from the get-go are about relationships. But I think definitely on the song Tables Have Turned, Ralph sounds like Taylor Swift is on top of a 1975 track. And I think the only reason that I'm comparing Ralph to these pop artists are so that people have an idea of what to expect when they listen to a few of these tracks. The last 2 songs on the album, Girl Next Door and Serial, feature Toby and Milk and Bone, respectively. And I found it was interesting that she put the tracks with the features at the tail end of the album. For Girl Next Door though, I'm not sure what this track is supposed to be about. Neither Ralph's nor Toby's verses carry that much weight, especially not as much as the starting tracks. But I did think that the harmonies and the toy piano hook and the trap percussion was all pretty nice. The song Serial though was kind of an interesting track to deal with. This is just a track about breakup, but Ralph has a whole bunch of nice and moody, realistic imagery in her lyrics, saying how she's still spending her mornings in her ex-boyfriend's hoodie and really missing having him around. But I thought that the hook of how she's crying in her cereal because this breakup is pretty hard emotionally on her. I thought that hook totally could have gone somewhere else in the song, like at the end of a second verse or something, just for something funny. But because this hook was repeated so much, I just began thinking, like, who the hell decided this to happen? I mean, don't get me wrong, the production and melody writing for this song are really good and really match the tone of the record, and almost to the point that it's been done before, you know? And the lyrics were also good, but I just thought the lyrics were a bad match to the song. But I did think, though, that Milk and Bone's nasally, raspy, pretty voice in the second verse of this song was pretty nice. It was a good change up. All in all, I thought this was a pretty good pop record. I liked the performances on this thing. I liked how well produced this album was and how consistent it is too. It made me feel pretty good and groovy and set a good vibe while I was listening to its 10 tracks and 34 minutes. But I think I liked the first 3 the most and would probably come back to those over listening to the entire thing again. I think Ralph did a good job at choosing her songs and production. She made a lot of good choices on this record. But I hope that for her next project, she's writing songs and music with a different concept and style in mind. Ralph isn't that young of an artist. She's approaching 30. But I think with this age comes the gift of maturity and seeing things in a different adult's light. And I think it'd be really interesting to fuse her views on what it's like being older and experiencing more and what her own personal experiences are, fusing those with the next set of songs that she writes. So out of my handy dandy enjoyment chart, I'm going to give this one probably a happy face, maybe half a star. So like in between happy face and half a star. So congratulations, Rafaela, for a good girl. I'm really hoping that the local scene was right behind you on this release. And I look forward to hearing more from you, and also hoping that you get a lot of opening slots for tours, because I think your music deserves it. Like, if you open for somebody like huge, holy shit, girl. That'd be incredible. Right on. So I'm really hoping that those kind of things happen for you, because this is a good record. If you liked hearing what I had to say and my opinions on music, make sure you like this video, share it with all of your friends, and you can subscribe. You can subscribe! You can subscribe to my channel. I like doing that. That's fun. And if you want to hear what I'm doing and listening to, you can follow me on Twitter. My handle is Mitchell Hall SPS. And that's it. Cheers again for watching. I hope you all are enjoying this sunny day. My name has been Mitchell, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.